come on. I hope that hooked up. Seem to have had a problem there for a second. I don't know why. No, I probably do know why. I think probably the reason is I might be being looked at a little more closely these days. And I got the wrong damn glasses on again. That's becoming a theme here. But coming to you today because this is probably the last chance I'm going to get before Saturday. I don't know who just popped on, but glad you did. Glad you're here. And anybody that does pop on, please say hello. I comment every single time. When somebody says something on the channel, I say hello back. But the other thing I'll point out to you is there's somewhere on your screen, there's a star. Costs you a few pennies. Go ahead and hit that thing. It does help out a little bit. But I'm here today because this is the last chance I'm going to have before Saturday. Saturday, I will be going to the No Kings. Call it a protest, call it an event, call it whatever you want to call it. I know Donald Trump is going to call it a protest. But I am going to be they've read my address. I am going to be the final speaker before we open the mic up to the people there in attendance for a few minutes. And then we're going to have us a good old-fashioned American protest. You know, like the Constitution says we can have. That's how it works, folks. I don't care what Donald Trump thinks. We still have a Constitution, at least right now, today. But I am going to go through my address, which you're going to be able to see live. And I will be streaming it live as a Biker Wisdom live on Saturday. Starts at noon Central Time. I'll probably be on a little bit after that, probably somewhere around 12:20. But in all of that, I have prepared some statements. Now, I can't go through it the exact same way that I would there because it's also got a call and response. And what I would tell you is when you hear me say, we're here, put in your mind, with no kings, in that kind of cadence. We're here with no kings. Anyway, how are you today? Besides, tired of this question. Tired of the crap that's going on. I'll give you a question. I'll give you a question a little bit musically. Well, hey there, mister. Can you tell me what's happened to the seeds I've sown? Can you give me a reason, sir, as to why they ain't never grown? Well, I can give you a reason. They keep tearing up and stealing the land you planted them in for the benefit of a few. For the benefit of the likes of Donald Trump. For the benefit of those who will and can afford to pay homage and treat him like a king. To fear him as a dictator. To enrich him while we suffer and make do with less and less. Every time I say, we're here, I want you to think about that. With no kings. It's kind of important, sort of in the Constitution. Valerie did suggest to me that at the event, we should have a drum circle. So that drum circle could have the bum, 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 bum. That's the cadence. But when you hear it, say it to yourself loud, strong enough to be heard at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue and have it echo to the Kremlin and the palaces of the monarchs in the Middle East trying to take over our nation. And by the way, where we are that day, right across the street is Putnam County Jail. You'll know about why that's important in just a minute. Make it all that loud because we're here. Saturday is June 14th. We'll be there for a reason. Not there to celebrate our self-appointed dictator. We're not there for some stupid vanity parade it's going to cost more than $45 million, and that doesn't even include the cleanup. No, we're not there. We're here. Yesterday, and look this one up, he came right out and said, regarding this little vanity show of his dictatorship, if there's any protest that wants to come out, they will be met with a very big force. For any people that want to protest, they're going to be met with very big force. You know what? Still, we're here. I need to remind that dumb son of a bitch. Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion or prohibiting the free exercise thereof or abridging the freedom of speech or of the press or the right of the people peaceably to assemble and to petition for a redress of grievances. Still, Donnie, we're here. And we're doing just that. We're here because a tyrant has said, the first time I ran the country. The second time I run the country and the world. Well, to hell you do. We're here. Because we believe a prince whose character is thus marked by every act which may define a tyrant is unfit to be the ruler of a free people. Y'all need to look up where that came from. We're here because we believe that no title of nobility shall be granted by the United States. Look that one up too. I know where it came from. We're here because we believe that three branches of government, by their very design, is to prevent the concentration of power. We're here because we understand that every person in this nation, documented or otherwise, has a fundamental right to due process of law. Do I need to say that again? I'm gonna anyway. Every person in this nation, documented or otherwise, has a fundamental right to due process of law. Saturday, we're going to have within earshot a man that has been denied that right by our wannabe monarch. Kilmar Abrego Garcia sits in Putnam County Jail, which is in Cookeville, Tennessee, less than a few hundred yards from where we'll be doing our event. Yep, right over there. Awaiting his time before a judge on what I can only call, sorry for the pun, trumped up charges. All the same, we're here. We're here because so far we have been spared the weaponized justice system and military our would-be king has illegally unleashed on Los Angeles. You know, I find it ironic that the Dobbs decision that man has touted as a signature achievement, overturning Roe versus Wade, has ostensibly done to give that right back to the states. Yeah, right. Meanwhile, you deploy troops to a state that specifically said you should not. That's the act of a dictator. And that's why we're here. We're here because we fundamentally reject the notion, just as our country's founders did, of the centralized power of a monarchy. We're here because our institutes of learning should represent the collective knowledge of our history, not the narrative of a wannabe king. Expressing that knowledge in the form of protest is a constitutional right. And by God, we will express it. We're here. I know you feel it. But feeling it, that's no longer enough. Now we know that. Now it's time for the world to know that. Most importantly, Donald Trump and those that allowed him to have his silly little parade. We're here. And we're standing together. And we're really going to do it on Saturday. Just as our forefathers and mothers did. A union of people that understand the only real power is the power of our combined voices. You got to stand where you live. I'm from one of the reddest counties in the nation. Van Buren County voted upwards of 90% for that man in 2024. And we're here. And we will stand in Van Buren County. Our little county has a thing happening. And there are a few here that already know about it and know why. The Democratic Party is building and becoming stronger, and we're becoming more vocal. And we are telling the world, as well as Van Buren County, we're here. That, my friends, is what we've got to do. Most of the people out there that laughably represent us are nothing more than sycophants. Yeah, I pronounced that word incorrectly. I sure as hell gave the correct definition. To them, I say too, we're here. And we will have no king. The governor here in Tennessee is the same. Oh, look, Your Highness, we're going to help our rich folks just like you. We're going to tax everything right down to over-the-counter medications. Of course, your new favorite lie, word, groceries. Yeah, we got a tax here on groceries and over-the-counter medications. And once we get that money, sir, from these hard-working serfs, because that's what we're becoming, we're going to give the rich folks a break on private schools. You know what? We're going to claw that money back because we're here. Do you have any idea how many private schools there are in Van Buren County? Not a single one. Our king and those that support him will not only take our money, but they're going to give it to their cronies. No, you won't. Not without a fight. Not with the good people that are watching this, that will be there on Saturday and seeing it with their own eyes. We will stand. We're here. I don't give a crap it's his birthday. We all got birthdays. Mine is on the 18th. I share it with Paul McCartney. You know what that means? Not one darn thing. Now, my real celebration is the next day, Juneteenth. That's a celebration. That's when, even though it was 2 years later, the last of the slaves in this nation were told, "You're free." Well, they were also told, "You're on your own." No, they are not. We're here. Not on our watch. We're here. My birthday celebration is also the Van Buren County Democratic Party meeting in Spencer, Tennessee. We, and I specifically, don't need no stinking parade. We're going to do a good old-fashioned fish fry and celebrate something worth celebrating. And that damn sure ain't a king. That damn sure ain't rich folks. That damn sure ain't anyone that would set us back 300 years. And that's because we're here. Say that to yourself over and over again. We're here with no king. We're here with no king. I need y'all to stay fired up. I need you to get out there Saturday. I need you to get out there peacefully. I want you to look on the different sites from the people that are putting these together and look at their instructions of how to conduct yourself and do it. There's talk right now. They're already saying, now, while they're sending in their Proud Boys and whichever militia they paid this time to support ICE, they're sending them in all faces covered up. Because we don't want, we don't want anybody to know who we really are. Well, they're talking about, if there's a protest on the 14th, it will be illegal if you wear a mask. Let me tell you something, people. If you're wearing an N95 mask when they start throwing out tear gas, it ain't going to help a lot, but it'll help. If you're wearing some kind of safety glasses, especially if they cling to your eyes and keep that out of your eyes, it ain't going to be perfect, but it'll help. None of those things are illegal. Don't let them tell you they are. And by God, get out there and resist. This is who we are. We're not going to put up with this. You know why we're not going to put up with this? Because we're here. Stand, America. I love you. Share this shit.